Hello everyone, this is Javamonk and welcome to the tutorial for by far the most requested thing ever on my channel. A tutorial for the world's largest loop-de-loop. I featured this nearly a year and a half ago at the time of this video uploading. And a tutorial for this loop-de-loop has been requested many times. So here, by popular request, a tutorial for the loop-de-loop. I'd like to make a few important notes before we get on with this tutorial. First off, the redstone here has not been optimized. So all of this redstone that we're going to build in this tutorial most of it is the original redstone because it works. But do keep in mind it has not been optimized, it has not really been changed. Second, the resources to build this, assuming that for some reason you're a madman and you're trying to build this in survival. In which case, you are insane. Please send me a screenshot through Twitter when you're done. Anyways, these are your resources. Now, this does not count the actual blocks that you'll build the loop out of. So just maybe fill the rest of this chest full of shulker boxes of whatever material, and you might just barely make it. Things like the sticky pistons and slime blocks, that's really the most difficult materials to get. As for all of this redstone, it's fairly easy if you build a hyper-powerful witch farm. This note block could be anything from a piston, a note block, a redstone lamp. I'll explain later in the tutorial what it's for. You don't necessarily need this much glass, only if you really want to. And all of these powered rails, most of them can be swapped out with regular rails, which I will be doing in the tutorial, but you're not guaranteed the same speed effects. Just if you have this much gold, then go for it. Also, this glazed terracotta, it's just got to be anything that's not movable with slime blocks. So something slime blocks can slide right past, like furnaces, obsidian, things like that. This glowstone can also be slabs, but I prefer glowstone because it's easier to work with. And if you notice, there are no comparators and no observers. So theoretically, you could build this contraption as far back in time as update 1.8. It is possible to do, theoretically. If you've attempted, then again, send me a screenshot, and I'm guessing you'd probably have to modify the slime block jumpers because Minecraft physics was different back then. But anyways, these are the materials that you need. The first thing you need to start with is a block somewhere to mark where you want your loop-de-loop. So in this case, it is at y = 0 because this is a loop-de-loop that stretches from the lowest part of the world to the highest part of the world. So the first thing we're going to build is a humongous circle with a diameter of 255 blocks. To start off, you need 11 blocks coming in one direction away from this block here. So that's 4, that's 8, and 3 more, 11 blocks. Next, you need to go up a block, and this time have a line of 8 blocks over here. Next, go up another block, and go 6 blocks in a line right here. I'm building out of iron blocks. You do not have to build out of iron blocks, but this is to make it easier for you to count. Next, go up a block and build out 4 in a line here, and then do that again. So you should have 2 of these 4 lines right here. Next, go up another block and build out 3 blocks here, and then go up another block and build out 4, like this. Next, go up a block and build out 2, and then go up, build 3, and then go up and build 3. Next, you're going to repeat this 9 times. Go up a block and build out a 2-long pathway over here. So just build out 9 of those. Next, repeat this pattern twice. go up one block and one over, and then up a block, up another block, and go out two. So do that again, just like that. Next, this pattern repeats twice. So go up a block and over one, and then up a block and over one again, and then build out two. So once again, a 1, and a 2. Next, build a stair step like this, 5 blocks diagonally, right here. So this here is 5 blocks, and then build out 2 right here. Next, build up another stair step of single blocks, 5 diagonally, like this. So there's 5 here, and then go up another block, and this time stack on top 1 block here. So at this point, we are 1/8 of the way around the whole circle. Next, we basically repeat all the patterns that we've had previously here. So we go 5 blocks diagonally here. There's 3, there's 4, and there is 5. And then go over a block and stack upwards. And then go up 1, and then up 2. And then do that again. Up 1, and up 2. Then go up 1, and then up 2. And then up 1, and up 2. Next, repeat this pattern 8 times. Go over a block and make a 2 tall stack, and then do that 8 times, so that there's a total of 9 of these combinations right here. Next comes the really steep part of the circle, and if you don't have a beacon with jump boost on it, then you should definitely get it now, because we're about to climb up to very large heights, and also if you don't have any method of saving yourself from an extremely high fall, you should probably get that ability right now. That includes something like a slow falling potion or an elytra. Next, go over a block and stack up 3, and then do that again. And then go over a block, stack up 2, and then go over another block and stack up 4. Next, go over a block and stack up 3, and then go over, stack up 4, and then go over a block and stack up another 4. Next, go over a block and this time stack up 6, like this, and then go over a block and stack up 8. So there's 4, there's 6, there's 8. Next, go over a block, and in this stack you need 11. So here's 4, here's 7, there's 10, and there's 11. So count that up, and then put a block on top of another block on top of that. This block here should be at Y127. So in this case, you see I messed up there. So this stack here should be 11 blocks long, and this block right here should be at Y127. So as you can see here, you've now built up a full quarter of the circle of this outrageous 255 diameter circle. And if you built it all correctly, then the goal block at the end should be at Y127. And also, a way to verify that you built this correctly using coordinates is find the coordinates of this bottom block here. In this case, we're at x equals 9, and we're going in the positive x direction. So make note of the fact that it's at x equals 9, and then go all the way up to the upwards quarter of this loop-de-loop, and mark this x coordinate right here, which in this case is 136. Then subtract 136 from 9, and altogether the change here should be 127, which it is. Once you have verified that your first quarter of the circle is correct, then basically repeat that pattern, but turn it. So rather than going over a block in this direction, you will instead be going over a block in the other direction. But you will still be going upwards until you reach the halfway point. So I'm going to speed this up. If you still need help with the with how many blocks to mark out, then go backwards in the video. But I'm going to real quick speed this up, the construction of the up to the halfway point of the loop-de-loop. And now we have a full half of the circle, as you saw from that speed up. Now, if you do not have capabilities to survive a fall from the sky build limit, as we are right here, and the ring itself does not go up to the sky build limit because we still got to put a rail on top of this. But if we have a powered rail on top, then as you can see, you can't go up any further. So we are technically speaking at the sky build limit, where it would really feasibly be possible to build a roller coaster, or a minecart-based loop-de-loop. Now, if you do not have the capabilities of surviving a fall from the sky build limit, such as using an elytra or a slow falling potion, then you could use sand. Now, assuming you built the circle correctly, this sand should fall all the way down to the bottom and land right here, right next to this gold block, because this is where we dropped it from up at the sky build limit. So, as you can see there, this loop, at least half of it, was built correctly. At this point, all that's left is to construct the rest of the loop, which is pretty easy to do. I'm just going to speed up the whole thing and complete the loop. And the way to verify if you built the second half of the loop correctly is if this part is if it lines up with the bottom gold block at the bottom. I'll use a gold block here to mark the edges of the loop, but you can use any block, and I would recommend using a different block from the rest of the ring. So I've just started laying out the rails, and basically you just lay down the rails on top of these blocks within the ring. At least for this first eighth of the circle, it is relatively simple. It stops getting simple once we start climbing up extra blocks here. Now, the placement of these powered rails it can be a bit obscure, but it's mainly to ensure that the minecart is able to actually climb up the slope here. Now, as you can see over here in the original loop-de-loop, the entire thing is made out of powered rails. and this is because this is creative mode, and with creative mode you can do stuff like this. And in fact, in survival mode, if you have a hyper efficient gold farm, you can do stuff like this. However, if you're in survival and for some reason you have tons and tons of iron, you could build something like this, where it's basically the minimum velocity required to have the minecart be able to climb up this hill. However, once we get over here to, so first the minecart travels up the 5 blocks here, and then the 2 over, and then the 5 over, and then it goes up an extra block over here. At this point, this entire part will need to be covered in powered rails, because the minecart needs the velocity in order for the slime block jumpers to start working. This first slime block jumper is mainly to just climb up these 2 blocks here. So, in order for this to happen, replace this block here with glazed terracotta or some immovable block. Knock out these 2 blocks, and then place some extra rails over here so that the minecart has something to travel back up on. And then come down a block past this powered rail and replace it with a detector rail. And then whatever method you have to powering these rails, go ahead and place that in. Underneath this detector rail, get a few blocks here, and then you need 3 blocks over here. You need a redstone dust directly underneath the detector rail, and then 2 repeaters, one at 4 ticks and one at 3 ticks. Next, come up a block here and place a sticky piston and a slime block. Next to this block of the sticky piston, place a block to the side and place just a repeater. Don't change the tick amount. Next, come up a block and we're going to make a redstone torch tower to get up to the slime block sticky piston combo that will push the minecart over to this next rail here. Now, on top of this block right here, place a redstone torch, place another block, place another redstone torch, and place another block on top of that. Next, come up in diagonal 2 blocks here, and then come up another diagonal, just like that. Place redstone along that, and then come up another diagonal and place a sticky piston with a slime block on the side. Now, before we test this thing out, and before I go letting the minecart fall into the void, we need to go up 2 blocks on top of the slime block and place another block right here. This is to stop the minecart from traveling over the slime block and ultimately missing this rail here. So now if we test this out, let's go a little further down here. This should work. Just like that. Okay. Then place a few more rails here. Make sure these are powered rails because, once again, we need plenty of velocity to actually get up to the next slime block launcher. So something I did here, and something you will probably want to do, is mark out where the circle is, at least for this kind of quarter of the circle up to the midpoint up here. And this is because this is the part where a minecart, if rails could be placed vertically, this would be where they would have to be placed. So, and it's also the place where minecarts actually cannot traverse, and slime block machines will have, and slime block jumpers will have to take over. Right here, you will need to replace this block here with a detector rail, and power this rail, preferably with a lever. Now, this one detector rail is going to power the entire rest of the jumping mechanism to get up to the part of the loop-de-loop where you can then proceed with rails. So, this one detector rail produces enough of a pulse to last the rest of the loop-de-loop, which means you no longer need detector rails. So pull out your redstone supplies. You, however, do not need observers or comparators. Over here, we're going to build kind of an unusual slime block jumper. So the way you build this is, first off, you need a redstone dot below the detector rail right here, and then you need 2 repeaters, one on full ticks, one on 3 ticks. And as for why this is being powered perpetually, it is because this lever is in the wrong place. You need it to be right there on the second block of this rail. This way it doesn't interfere with the rest of the redstone. So, after this repeater line, go up a block and place a sticky piston and a slime block. Come out 2 blocks, come over 2 blocks like this, and then place redstone dust here, place a repeater right here, set this to 3 ticks, then place another redstone dust. After this, come up a block, place a redstone twitch, and then another block, and another redstone twitch. Then place a block on top of this redstone twitch, come up a block diagonally like this, and now this will just have redstone. Next, come over 2 blocks, place a block in between, and place a repeater right here, leave it alone. Next, you need glazed terracotta or some immovable block next to this block right here. And now, right here, you need 2 slime blocks, and you need 2 sticky pistons right behind them like this. So what we're going to create here is a circuit to push those 2 slime blocks out at almost the same time and also retract. This is basically to push the minecart 2 blocks outwards. So place some blocks over here like this, and then you need a repeater here. Leave this alone, and you need a repeater here. Set this to 3 ticks, and connect it all with redstone. Coming off of this redstone line here, place 3 blocks and 3 repeaters on top of them, each with 4 ticks of delay. Then come up a block here, place a redstone torch on the side over here, and then come up a block like this, place 2 redstone dust, and then up another block, place a sticky piston and a slime block facing upwards. Now, before we get much further, make sure that you are actually getting launched up by that slime block right there. So this can be, so I'm going to test this little part out here. Here we go. So there we go. We are indeed being launched up by the slime block. However, we will need to place in some extra blocks to stop the minecart from traveling off into the distance. Next, you need to come down a block from this redstone torch, place some dust on top of that, and then we're going to begin this really bizarre little staircase. So come over a block like this, and then come up a block here, over, and place something like this, and then place redstone dust on top of all that. From there, come back a block like this, and then build a little spiral up here. And then at the end here, place a repeater, and then place redstone dust going all the way down this staircase here. From there, come up a block, place a redstone torch, a block on top of that redstone torch with redstone on top of that. And then you need a sticky piston here with a slime block. Now, you need 2 blocks over here, both immovable, and then another block right there. Place 3 repeaters, 2 of them at 4 ticks, 1 of them leave at 1 tick. Next, go over a block and down a block. Place 2 redstone dust and a torch on the side right here. Next, knock out these 2 parts of the loop. Place a sticky piston and a slime block on top of that. From this redstone torch, come down a block and over like this. Place a redstone dust here, and then come up a block like this. Next, you need some transparent block like slabs or glowstone, which you can place redstone on top of. So you need 4 of these blocks. I prefer to use glowstone. You can also use slabs. Place another one of those transparent blocks on top of this glowstone, and then place redstone on top of that. Place an extra block and a repeater. In front of this repeater, place an immovable block with a redstone torch on the side. Next, you're going to need some sort of block next to there, and place a sticky piston right next to this redstone torch. You can remove your scaffolding. Place a slime block attached to that sticky piston. From this glowstone over here, come out 2 blocks, place 2 repeaters, both set to 4 ticks. Then come out another block, place redstone dust. From here, come up a block and place a redstone torch on this side of the block. Next, come down from the torch like this, place 2 redstone dust, and then you're going to need to knock out this part of the loop. And right above the redstone dust like this, place a sticky piston and a slime block. Next, place a block on top of this redstone torch. Place a redstone torch on top of that block. and then put a block on top, come out a block this way, and place 2 redstone right there. Next, place a repeater, set that to 3 ticks. Next, come up from this repeater here, and come out another block this way, come up a block, place a redstone on top of all that, then come up a block and place a redstone torch on top of that block, place another block on top of that torch, with the redstone on top of that, place a sticky piston and a slime block facing to the side, and then you need 2 immovable blocks right here. Next to those 2 immovable blocks, place another block right here. You need 1 redstone right here, and then 2 repeaters, both set to 4 ticks. Next, come up a block from this repeater line here, then come down a block and over 1, place 2 redstone dust there, and then right here on the side of this redstone line you need a sticky piston and a slime block. You're going to need to replace this block right here with something immovable, and on top of this block right here, place a redstone torch. On top of this redstone torch, we're going to need to start a little delaying upwards redstone line, so place a redstone torch on the side here, come up a block from there, place another redstone torch on the side, on top, place a block on top of that, and a torch, another block, another torch. You need 5 of these torches in total, so block on top of that, like that, and a torch right there, and then place a block on top of that. Next, place a sticky piston on the side here, place a slime block on that sticky piston. Then place a couple more blocks right there, place a repeater over here, set this to 4 ticks, place a redstone dust, and then another repeater set to 4 ticks. Next, come up a block, and then also come down a block, stair step down another block, place 2 redstone dust, and right here you need on the side you need a sticky piston with a slime block, and you're going to need to replace this block right here with something immovable. On top of this block right here, place a redstone torch, come up a block from there, and then build out a few more blocks like this. And then place redstone like this, place a repeater right here, set that to 3 ticks, and then redstone, and come up a block there, and place a redstone torch on top of that. On top of the redstone torch, place a block, and then place a sticky piston on the side with a slime block attached to it. Next, on this side of the redstone torch, place 3 blocks in a line like this. Place a redstone here, place 1 repeater, set that to 4 ticks, and place another repeater, set that to 3 ticks. Next, you need an immovable block in front of this repeater here. In fact, you should replace this block with an immovable, and then tear out those 2 blocks, replace it with a sticky piston slime block combo, just like this. And then right next to the sticky piston, come down a block and place a redstone torch. Just like this. So, as you can see here, the circle has gotten much steeper now. So, come up a block, place a redstone torch on top of this immovable block, place a block here, place a block on the side, and then another block on top of that torch, place another torch on that side, place another block here, and a torch on top. At this point, you have a recurring pattern here that only repeats twice. So, place a block on top of this redstone torch, place a sticky piston on the side with a slime block attached to it. Then on this side of the torch, place 3 blocks in a line, place 1 redstone dust, place 2 repeaters, 1 set to 4 ticks and 1 set to 2 ticks. Diagonally opposite from that, you have these 2 blocks of the loop here. Tear those out, place a sticky piston and a slime block instead. Now, replace this block here with an immovable block. In front of this repeaters, place an immovable block, and below that, place a block and a redstone dust right there. So, as I said, this pattern repeats with some slight changes. So, come up a block, put a torch on top of the immovable block, place a block on top of that. Got a torch, a block, a torch, and a block, and a torch on top of that. Next, you need a block, a sticky piston on the side, sticky slime block attached to that, and then 3 blocks coming to the side. Need the redstone dust. 1 repeater needs to be set at 4 ticks. And this time you need another repeater right here, set that to 4 ticks. So now, replace these blocks here with a sticky piston and a slime block combo, and then place an immovable block here, place an immovable block in front of the repeaters there, and then the pattern stops from there. So place a redstone torch on top of the immovable block, place a block on top of that, a torch on the side, a block on top of that, torch on the side, block on top of that, and a torch on top. Now, you need a block on top of that torch, place a sticky piston with the slime block next to it. Right here, you need to place 4 blocks in a square like this. So then place a redstone repeater here and a repeater here, both set to 4 ticks. Place redstone connecting them, and then place a block in front of this repeater here. Now you need a block on the side over here. Place a repeater on top of that, set that to 4 ticks, and then place an immovable block in front of that, and replace these 2 blocks here with a sticky piston and slime block combo. Underneath the immovable block, place a block and redstone on top. Since this circle has gotten so much steeper now, we now need to change up the redstone patterns here. So this might make even less sense than before. So place a redstone torch on the side of this immovable block. Place a block on top of that. Next, you need 2 redstone torches on the side of this block here, just like this. This will eventually lead off to a torch tower that's separate from this redstone that we're about to place. So to place this redstone, place a block on top of this torch, place a block on the side there, and you need redstone on top of this block and a repeater over here set to 4 ticks. Next, go up a block here, place your transparent glowstone block on top of the repeater, place a block on top of this redstone, and then on the side of this redstone right here, you need another block. Now place redstone on top of all of that. On the side of this block, you need to place a block out here, a repeater on top of that, leave that repeater alone. On the side of this glowstone, place another block, place a repeater here, set that to 4 ticks. Now, this slime block jumper is different from all of the others that we've built because this one will actually pop out of the, will actually get intentionally in the way of the path. So place a sticky piston slime block combination like this instead. What this circuit essentially does is it's going to power this sticky piston. So normally this part would be in the way of the minecart jumping up through here, but it won't be because it pops out of the side here. So there's going to be a powering station over here, and what's going to happen is this sticky piston is going to power, and it's going to push the minecart upwards like this, at which point it'll then retract like this. Now, as you could already see, this could cause some pretty serious problems, so replace this block with an immovable block. Next, this redstone torch line that we left behind a little bit, place a block on top of this torch over here, place a torch on top of that. Now place a block here, and now you need some redstone torches on the side here, chaining this way, kind of diagonally. You need 2 of these torches coming up like this, and now you need 3 torches on top of blocks climbing up like this. Next, place a redstone torch on top of that, and this is where we're going to need to add some extra delays in order for this next slime block jumper to work. From this block in the redstone torch, come out 3 blocks here, come out another block, and then up a block like this. Now, along this line here, you need 3 repeaters, 2 on 4 ticks, and 1 on 2 ticks. On the front of this block, place a sticky piston and a slime block. This should line up nicely with the drop chute right here. Also from this redstone torch, come a block this way, place redstone dust on top of that, and then another block here, place a repeater set to 4 ticks. Now come up a block, like this, and also come down a block, place redstone dust on top of this block, and then come down another block here, and you need 2 repeaters here, One set to 4 ticks, one set to 3 ticks. Your sticky piston slime block combo from this set of repeaters here goes right there, just like this. Now, from this redstone torch right here, come up a block here, go place a redstone torch on the side, and then a block on top of that, and place a redstone dust on top of that. Next, come build out a little platform like this, just like this, and now you need 5 repeaters. So 4 of them need to be on 4 ticks, and the 5th one needs to be on 1 tick. Connect that with redstone, and then come up a block. Next, place a redstone torch on top of this block here, and then come out 2 blocks this way, place dust and a repeater right here, set that to 4 ticks. You're going to need to place an extra block right here to cut off the signal here. Next, come out a block this way and down one diagonally, and then place redstone dust on top of that. And then right here, you need a repeater, set that to the default ticks. Next, place a sticky piston right next to this repeater here. Place another sticky piston facing up directly next to it, and place a slime block in between. So this is another one of those pop-out boosters. So now you're going to need to protect these 2 blocks here from being stuck to by the slime block. You don't need them over here. And there we go. On top of this redstone torch, place a block, place a torch on the side, and now you need 3 torches in a line stacking up. But on the side over here, so there's the first one, here's the second one, place a block on top of that, there's the 3rd torch, then place a block on top of that torch, and place a torch on top of that block. Now, on top of this torch, place a block on top of that, and then place one on the side here, and then come out a couple blocks like this. You're going to need 2 dust on the side here, and then place a repeater, set that to 4 ticks. Now, on this side, place a block, and come down one diagonally, and then place another block this way here. Place dust here, and a repeater here. You need another one of those special slime block jumpers, just like this, just like that. And that final thing would launch you past the quarter mark around this entire circle. So before we get much farther, I would recommend that you test this and make sure that you built it correctly and that this thing launches you upwards. And on a contraption this large, I was bound to make a mistake at some point. So check and make sure that each of these contraptions over here, in this section with the repeated pattern, make sure that all of your pistons pushing upwards are actually being powered. So you may need to put a block underneath the immovable right here and put redstone dust on top. And chances are that is your problem if it's not working right away. I also forgot to mention, make sure you protect these 2 blocks by making them immovable. This next part's going to seem a little bit familiar, but soon the pattern will break because the circle is about to curve the other way now. So, on the side of this block, place a redstone torch with a block on top of it. Then place another torch on the side, place a block on top of that, torch on the side, and block on top of that. Now place a redstone torch on top of that, place a block on top of it, and on the side. Over here, place another block over here, place a redstone dust on top of this block, and a repeater on here, leave it on the default ticks. Now come up diagonally like this, and over one, and over another one. Place 2 more redstone dust, place a repeater over here, set that to 4 ticks, and now you need your slime block jumper mechanism here with the 2 sticky pistons and a slime block. On top of this block here, place a redstone torch, place a block, place a redstone torch, and repeat this 4 total times, just like this. You need to build out a little platform like this and place 2 repeaters, one here and one here. Connect that with redstone, and they both need to be on 4 ticks of delay. Now come up a block and also come down a block right here, and then place 2 redstone dust here. Next over here, build out another block over here, and place a repeater. Now, at the end of this repeater, you're going to need to punch this part out and replace it with a sticky piston and a slime block. And also replace these two blocks here with immovable blocks. On this side here with this redstone line, come down a block diagonally, place a repeater here, set that to 4 ticks, and then you need a sticky piston and a slime block. Now, you do need an immovable block right here to stop the minecart from flying past this piston. Next, place a redstone torch on top of this block, place a block on top of that torch, and a torch on the side here. Now place a block on top of that torch, and we can begin on the next part. Come out 2 blocks here, and build out a 2x3 platform here. Place dust here, and now you need 3 repeaters. 2 of them set to 4 ticks, and 1 of them set to just 1 tick. Connect them with redstone, and now on the end of this repeater line, come up a block, and place a redstone torch on top of that. We'll come back to this redstone torch, but for now, come to the side here and place a repeater. Just leave that at 1 tick. And now come over a block on the side over here, and then place a few blocks like this. You need 2 redstone dust and a repeater set to 4 ticks. And this is where you need the special slime block jumper. So place a sticky piston in front of this repeater here. Place an upwards sticky piston right there, and a slime block in between. Next, we need 5 redstone torches. So place a block here, place the first one on the side, block on top of that, torch on the side, block on top, torch on the side, and repeat that until you have 5 torches in a line like this. And the 5th one needs to be on top. Next, this is where the redstone gets a little bit bizarre. You then need to make an angle like this. Place 2 repeaters, both set to 4 ticks, and redstone right here. Now, knock out this block here, and place a sticky piston right there, with a slime block at the end. You need to replace these 2 blocks with immovable blocks. Now, right under this repeater, you will need a sticky piston right here with a redstone block at the end here. And this is to reach a repeater that's going to be over 2 blocks and down like this. And this repeater, I'll set that later. But in between here, you need a way to update this sticky piston here and let it know that it needs to be powered. Now, you can do this in multiple different ways. You could do that with a trapdoor. You could use a fence gate. You could use any trapdoor, any door. You could also use a redstone lamp. You could use a dropper. You could use another piston. Or, since this is 1.13, you can use a note block. Whatever your choice is, set this repeater to 3 ticks, and then come up a block, place a sticky piston and a slime block. You also need an immovable block right here. This, once again, to stop the minecart from flying off the piston. Now, place a block on top of this redstone torch, place a torch on the side, and then build a 3x2 platform over here. You need a redstone dust right here, and you need 3 repeaters, all set to 4 ticks. Connect them with redstone, and then at the end, come up a block. Next, place a torch on top of that block, place a block on top of the torch, and then come out 3 blocks here, and come out another 2 blocks. Now, along here you need 3 repeaters. 2 of them set to 4 ticks, and 1 of them set to 3 ticks. And then connect them with redstone. Here you need a sticky piston and a slime block on top of that. Now, on the side here, you will need an immovable block and a block on top of it. This is, once again, to stop the minecart, but this time it needs extra space here. So now, on top of this block right here, place a torch on top of that, place a block on top of that, and a torch facing this way. And now, come down a block like this, place a repeater, set that to 4 ticks, and then place a sticky piston and a slime block. Make sure to protect the blocks that it moves past. Next, place a torch on the side here, place a block on top of that, place another torch on the side. Now, place a block on top of that torch, block on the torch on the side, block on top, torch on the side, block on top. you need a total of 6 twitches in this line total here. So that's the third, that's the fourth. Here's the fifth twitch, and the sixth twitch needs to go on the side here. Now place a block on top of that twitch, place another twitch on top and on the side. Next, place 3 blocks on the side of this twitch over here. So place dust over here, and 2 repeaters, both set to 4 ticks. Now, you need a block in front of this repeater line, and now knock out this block here, place a sticky piston and a slime block, and protect the faces the slime block touches with immovable blocks. From the side of this redstone twitch, come down a block and over like this, make this L shape here. You need 3 repeaters, all set to 4 ticks. Next, come up a block and also down a block, and place a redstone dust on this block right here. Place another repeater right here, set that to 4 ticks, and then come up a block with an immovable block in front of the repeater, and then come down a block like this. Place redstone dust on top of that. Next to this redstone dust, you need a sticky piston and a slime block. Next, place an immovable block on the side of this repeater, and another block on top of that to stop the minecart. Now place a twitch on top of this immovable block. Place another block on top of that twitch. Next, place a redstone twitch right here. Place another block on top of that. Place a twitch on this side over here. Place a block on top of that. Next, place a twitch on top of that block. And then come over a block like this and over a block here. Place a repeater right here and a piece of redstone right there. Next, place a block on the side of this dust right here. And place a repeater right here. Set that to 4 ticks. Place a block in front of the repeater. And then come down into the side here. Place a repeater, set that to 3 ticks. Now here we need one of those special slime block jumpers. So break those 3 blocks. Place a sticky piston there. And a sticky piston in front of this repeater. In front of the repeater. And put a slime block in between. These 2 blocks here are going to get in the way of the minecart's path. So now over here, you need a twitch tower of 6 twitches here. So here's the first one, and on the side, place another twitch, and again on the side, and keep doing this until you have 6 twitches here. So that's 4. Here's 5, and there's 6, and place a block on top of the 6th one. Next, on top of this twitch tower, place a redstone dust. Place a block next to that and a repeater. Set that to 4 ticks. And now place a sticky piston and a slime block right here. Over here, next to this torch right here, place 3 blocks. Place 3 repeaters. Set them all to 4 ticks. Next, come up a block and one on the side. Place a torch on top of this sticking up block here. And now place a few blocks over here. Place 2 redstone there. In fact, place 3 redstone here. Come over a block this way and place a redstone repeater. Set that to 4 ticks. Now break these 3 blocks and place a sticky piston and a slime block. Next, place a block on top of this redstone twitch. Place a twitch on the side. And now you need 5 diagonal stair-stepping twitch tower. So here's the second twitch. Need the third twitch. The 4th twitch goes also on the side. And the 5th one goes on the other side. Now on top of this 5th twitch, place a block on top with redstone dust, and place another block here with a repeater set to 3 ticks. Now in line with the block over here, place a sticky piston and a slime block. Next, right here, place a repeater set to 4 ticks. Place a block here with a redstone dust on top. And now place 2 more blocks here, 2 more repeaters, set both to 4 ticks. And then come over here, place 2 blocks here, redstone dust, and another repeater set to 4 ticks. Place a block next to the repeater there, a redstone dust, and actually you need a block here. And then place a sticky piston on the side here, sandwiched between these 2 blocks, with the slime block on top. Next, we need a diagonal twitch tower, so place a twitch on this side here, place a block on top of it. Now place 2 diagonal twitches coming this way, place a block on top of that. Next, place a block on this side here, and you need 5 of these diagonal torches. So there's the second torch, there's the third torch, the fourth torch, and the fifth one needs to go on top, just like this. Next, on this side, place a block and a repeater set to 4 ticks. Come up a block, place a sticky piston and a slime block. Next, place a block on this side here. Place a redstone repeater set to 4 ticks with the block in front of it. And on the other side of this block, place another block and 2 right here. This next one needs to be down diagonally like this. And then right here, you need to go diagonally down 1 more block and place a repeater set to 4 ticks. Now, next to this block, place a sticky piston and a slime block, and make sure to protect the surfaces that the slime block could touch. Next, place a torch on top of this block here. Place a block on top of that, 1 on the side, a block, 1 on the other side, and a block, and a torch on top. Next, place a block on this side over here. Place a repeater set to 4 ticks, and then come up a block, place a sticky piston and a slime block. Over on this side, place 2 blocks and 2 repeaters, both set to 4 ticks, and place a block in front of this repeater line. On the other side of this block, place 2 blocks here and redstone dust on top of that. Come down a block diagonally, place a repeater right here, and then place a sticky piston with a slime block on the side, and then make sure any surface that the slime block could possibly touch is protected with the immovable block. Next, you need 4 redstone torches stacked on top of each other. So here's the first one, here's the second one, here's the third one, and the fourth one, just like that. And over here, you need a block and a redstone repeater set to 4 ticks. On the side of this block here, place a sticky piston and a slime block. On this side of the torch, place 2 blocks and 2 repeaters, 1 set to 4 ticks, 1 set to 1 tick, and then place 4 more blocks with dust on top of that. Then come down a block diagonally and place a repeater set to 4 ticks, and then on the side there, place a sticky piston and a slime block. This block needs to be replaced with an immovable block. Next, place a block at the end of this redstone line, place a torch on the side, place another block, torch on the side, block again, and a block on the torch on the side, and then another block and a torch on top. On this stair step over here, you need a repeater set to 4 ticks, then place another block here, and a repeater on top of that, set that to 2 ticks. Next, come up a block, and make a stair step 3 blocks tall, and then come over 1 block, place dust on top of all that, and then place a sticky piston at the end of this redstone line with a slime block in front of it. Over here, you need to make a horseshoe shape, so just like this. Place dust on the side here, and then you need 3 repeaters, all set to 4 ticks. At the end of this, you need a sticky piston, right like that, and a slime block. Make sure you replace this block here with an immovable block. That is actually necessary. It's to stop the minecart. And in fact, you need a block on top of that immovable block so that the minecart completely comes to a stop before it hits the slime block. On top of this redstone torch, place another block, and then place 2 redstone torches on the side, coming diagonally like this. And then you need a diagonal line of 4 redstone torches, just like this. On top of this redstone torch, place a block with redstone dust on top of it. On this side, you need to make a horseshoe shape like this, with dust on the corners. And you need 3 repeaters, 2 of them on 4 ticks, and 1 of them on 3 ticks. In the front of the repeater line, place a sticky piston and a slime block. On this side, you need 4 blocks and 4 repeaters. 3 of them need to be set at 4 ticks, and the 4th needs to be set at 3 ticks. Next, place 2 more blocks and dust on top. Then come down diagonally 1 and place a repeater set to 4 ticks. At the end of this, place a sticky piston and a slime block, And these two blocks both need to be immovable. At the end of this redstone line, come up a block and place a torch on the side, and then place a block on top of that torch. Now place a torch on this side here, and place a block on top of that torch, and then you need a diagonal line of 4 torches right here, just like this. And then at the end, place a block on top and a torch on top. We're almost at the end of the redstone portion. On the side here, place a block and a repeater on top, set that to 2 ticks. Now, next to the block, place a sticky piston and a slime block. Now, here we have 2 removable blocks, so the block diagonally next to that, stack on another 2 blocks, and then go diagonal 3 blocks here, and go 3 more diagonal like this. So you should have 4 diagonal just like this. On top of these blocks, you need to place some powered rails, and power them with a lever right there. Now, this block right here actually needs to be 2 movable blocks stacked on top of each other. So let's place a powered rails back, just like that. Now, place a sticky piston right here, actually right there below all the immovable blocks, with a slime block attached, and then place an immovable block right there. To actually power this sticky piston, you actually need to grab some wet sponges, and then you just chain them from this redstone torch line and just keep placing them, just like this, until you realize that I'm actually completely joking with you. Now place 3 blocks here, place 3 repeaters, all set to 4 ticks. Then come up a block like this, and on the other side here, place 4 more blocks, go diagonally down to this sticky piston, place a repeater here to power the piston, and 4 dust on top of this line here. Next, place a torch on top of this block here, place another block on top, and a torch on the side. Now on top of this torch, place another block, and come out another block here, and make a little L shape here. Place 2 redstone here, and a repeater right here, and then on the side of the block, place a sticky piston and a slime block. That should give the minecart enough of a push to get onto this track over here, which will continue on the rest of the loop. Even though this is only 1/4 of the circle, it is also the majority of the problems that you could run into while riding the roller coaster. So let's test this redstone out and make sure that you actually make it all the way up to the top of the loop. I promise the downwards part is much, much easier. In fact, there is no redstone required on any of the other portions. As for troubleshooting this, if you're not making it all the way up this part here, then make sure you have the glazed terracotta protecting the actual loop from the slime blocks. Also, make sure you don't accidentally put glazed terracotta in front of a slime block, because that'll prevent it from extending. One thing I completely screwed up, and I do apologize for this, that is this part right here with the redstone block that extends out here. The sticky piston slime block combo does not need to be here. You instead need to place a block on top of the note block or whatever you're using to update this piston here, and the sticky piston actually needs to be on top of that block. So just modify whatever needs to be done, but this is how it's actually supposed to look like. Also, I forgot to place a redstone dust right here. The second time that the slime block jumpers pushed the minecart this way. Once you have tested and ensured that the slime block jumping works, to get up to this part of the circle, you no longer need your redstone supplies. Instead, all you need are your rails, powered rails, and your blocks, as well as a minecart, at least to get up to the midpoint here. So, the falling part, the part of the loop that goes downwards, does need a little bit of work, but it's nothing redstone related, so the most complex part is now behind us. So once again, for this part of the minecart portion, in the actual loop, in the original loop-de-loop, I have it entirely made of powered rails, but if you're building this in survival, which, if you are actually building this in survival, and you've made it this far, then please let me know in the comments, because, well, quite honestly, I think there should be some sort of prize for building this in survival, because this is just an insane project. Anyways, so the powered rails are just enough to get over these slopes here, and the screen will occasionally flicker between light and dark. I'm not sure why that happens, but these powered rails are just barely enough to make it over. And now, as long as you place a powered rail up at the very center of this line here, you will make it all the way down. You will also need some other blocks, which I will use. I think I'll use purple stained glass for those extra blocks needed to make sure that to ensure a safe journey down. Now, on these 1-block slopes here, you can just go ahead and build out your regular rails. But on the 2-block slopes going downwards here, you need to make sure that this top block is sloped upwards. So to do that, remove this block on top here, temporarily place a rail here, and then replace it with a regular block, and then you can place your new rail. So as you can see, it slopes. And you must make sure that it slopes the whole way, because otherwise you're not going to make it. Do, however, keep in mind that the process of sloping these rails can get rather annoying after a little while. So if you're just placing the rails like this, and then replace it and place a new rail, this could unslope itself. So to fix that kind of problem, the best solution is to actually do this sloping process in reverse. Now, you cannot continue sloping it at this point here. You can't go infinitely sloping, because we actually need to place some extra blocks to make sure that you actually make it all the way across. So go ahead and start from here, because the next slope you can actually just place like this and it won't update the next rail. So from here, this is where you should go in reverse. Now, another challenge here is that you do actually need powered rails in order to make it down this slope. So the powered rails need to start here. So all that sloping that you're supposed to do for the 2-block slopes here, these all need to be powered rails, and you do need to power them. They must be powered rails, otherwise, once again, you won't make it all the way to the bottom. This is where, if you're building in creative mode, the debug stick comes in super helpful. Because all you have to do is, once you have shape selected as the thing to modify for the rail, you then just got to right-click twice, and it'll change the powered rail to the shape that you need it. And even though the rails are sloping, even though you have powered rails, even at this point, you're still not going to make it to this next sloped powered rail. Whoops. Like that. So, to ensure that you do actually make it, you need to put in a tube for the player to fall into, just like this. So, this ensures that the minecart traveling through will actually make it onto the rail and then can continue on the journey. And do make sure that the minecart can actually get down here and get through the powered rail here. This first cage here for the minecart needs to go up an extra block above the rail itself. On the first drop where you have 4 blocks, once again the player will not make it over the edge. So over the edge of this rail. So in this case, you need to make another glass cage here, and this one needs to extend 2 blocks above this rail here. Now, about these cages, technically speaking, you don't need these side blocks. And also technically speaking, you don't need these blocks. I just personally prefer them to have blocks on either side. That way it looks more like a cage. and it's more like a tube that lets the minecart through. But even like this, you can still see that the minecart does actually make it through those tubes, and it would not make it to the next slope. You will also need one of those walls right here, and this is the second slope where the minecart would fall 4 blocks. So just before this sloping rail, which would make the minecart fall 6 blocks, you need another one of those walls. And the wall needs to extend up 3 blocks above the rail itself. This next slope here, you need another one of those walls, and this needs to extend all the way up until it is in line with this over here. Now, just before this super long drop over here to get past the 3/4 mark, we need to actually make the minecart fall on this side over here. To do that, come up a block diagonally right here, and then come up another diagonal like this, place some powered rails, remove these 2 blocks, and then break this top rail and place another block, and go ahead and power that. And on the other side of this rail, you need another one of those walls to ensure that the minecart actually falls in a nice straight line. After the fall that gets you past the 3/4 mark, you need another sloped powered rail here, and you also need one of those walls, and that's all you need. Just the 2 blocks right here. The next place where you need one of those binding walls here is right here after the 8 block drop, you need a 3 block tall wall which goes 2 blocks above the rail itself. The next place is after the 6 block drop, you need a 2 block tall wall which extends up 1 block above the rail itself. The next place where you need one of those walls is after the second 4 block drop, at which point you need a wall that extends up 3 blocks above the rail itself. Over here you have the 4 blocks, 2 blocks, 3 blocks. Right here you need another one of those walls, and that just extends up 2 blocks above the rail itself. Now, you will still need powered rails all the way up to the end of the 2 block tall slopes. So once you start getting the occasional 1 block slopes, powered rails are no longer necessary to actually make it. So then, all you really got to do is just place these, make sure you keep up the slopes of these rails, but just place them going all the way down the rest of the way. Just like this. And that would complete the loop. And once you put all of those rails in, then you are complete with this loop-de-loop. So let's do the grand test. Starting from the beginning, you can put whatever starting and ending stations you want, but we start from the beginning and we can climb up the entire loop. To end this tutorial of the world's largest loop, I've got a comment that I should stop abusing Charlie the Creeper, and you're right. Let's instead send Charlie the Enderman on this minecart journey. You ready, Charlie? Here we go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial for the world's largest vertical loop. So, this is a nice expansion to this kind of series I've been having of world's largest shapes made by a minecart that are normally impossible. This is now the world's largest loop, the world's largest corkscrew, and coming soon, the world's largest spiral loop. So, thank you for watching this tutorial, and if you actually built this in survival, please let me know. Like, send me a picture through Twitter. I will have the link in the description. I will also have the world download in the description for you to download this, and you can in fact see both loops in that world download. So, thank you for watching. I will see you next video.